Hi, Jenni here, and it has become rather standard that if a new book that is about to be published that gains a lot of interest and attention already in the pre-order phase, their rights for movie or TV adaptations are bought right away. And I'm kind of tired of it. I'm sure I'm not the only one who is tired of having book to movie adaptations. What inspired me to do this video is there was a new book released recently, Yesteryear by Carol Clare Berg. There was a lot of discussion of it before it was even released. And right after it was released, this post about Anne Hathaway buying the rights for the book to adapt it went around and became really viral, at least in my eyes. So I saw a bunch of Instagram posts regarding these news, but I grabbed a screenshot of a Blue Sky post regarding this post. It actually features a photo of Anne Hathaway that I'm pretty sure is AI, but it's been cropped from this post. So it says Anne Hathaway bought the rights to a novel about a chatwife influencer who wakes up in 1855 and has to actually live the life she's been selling online. The book is called Yesteryear. It came out 3 days ago, so this was posted very, very quickly after the book was released. The film rights were already sold to Hathaway, who will produce and star. I read the book, by the way. I can't imagine Anne Hathaway in this specific role. But let's see. A traditional American woman who sells her pioneer lifestyle of raw milk and farm fresh eggs to millions of social media followers suddenly awakens cold, filthy, and terrified in the brutal reality of 1855. She has to unravel whether this is an elaborate hoax, a twisted reality show, or something far more sinister. The blurb never uses the word tradwife. The book does. Thought the last sentence was a bit weird. Then somebody who posted this on Blue Sky said, "Holy shit, I have never been more excited for a movie." And it has 18,000 likes, 3,000 reposts, and 468 quotes. And I just want to say, read the damn book. Because it broke my heart just a little bit to see the synopsis of a book. And in the post, they don't even mention the author. And the focus is on the fact that it will be a film one day, but it's already a book that's already out now. So why can't you take the time you have and read it? Obviously, yes, I know some people are too busy to read. Some people don't have the finances to buy books, especially brand new books. Always use libraries when you can, of course. This post about a movie adaptation that is not even out yet created more discussion regarding the idea rather than the book. And the book was really popular already before it was released, that people were excited to read it. There is this weird feeling of, yes, it's a brilliant book, I've read it. Why are people just gonna wait for the movie adaptation when they could go and read the book? I thought I would share some of my opinions on what are the pros, the positive sides of movie adaptations, and what are the downsides, the cons. Obviously, all of this is just my opinion. I didn't really look at articles or what other people have said regarding movie adaptations, but I also feel like it's been a discussion for a long time. Some movie adaptations are not necessary. A positive side to movie adaptations and TV series adaptations is that it introduces the original story to a wider audience. For example, I saw the first Hunger Games film before I read the book, and then I absolutely ended up loving the books and reading them quickly after I saw the movie. Film and TV adaptations are a great way to introduce someone to a new book and maybe get them to read the book and see what the original story was. And in some cases, these adaptations can actually even add and make the original story even better. I think one major example of something like this happening is in Mockingjay. Effie Trinket is not in District 13. She is not a big part of the story at all in the book. But in the movie adaptation, they brought Effie to District 13 and she helps out Katniss and the rebels. And this brought a lot more depth to Effie's character, and it was a better fit, in my opinion, to have Effie there rather than Katniss's prep team, because Effie knew Katniss better. And of course, some movie and TV adaptations are absolutely iconic and understood the book and honored the original story. Some that come to mind: BBC, 1995 Pride and Prejudice, 2020 adaptation of Emma, Catching Fire. Even though the movie cuts out a lot of parts from the book, it's still a really good adaptation. Overall, I think a film and a TV adaptation, they can add so much more to the original story. And with the right people and the right creatives, it can even enhance the original story in the book. It can enhance, but also it can completely take away from the original book. I remember absolutely loving The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, but then I watched the film and it just was nowhere near as impactful as the book. Probably because the narration of death is so quintessential to the story and it's so much more apparent in the book than in the movie. And then there are cases where the adaptation completely ignores the original story and makes up their own completely different version of the book that has nothing to do with the original book, but still claim that it's the same. I already made a video about Wuthering Heights, so I'm not gonna go there again. One major issue of adaptations is that quite often, because of the way Hollywood is, many book adaptations end up being whitewashed. Like I said, I talked about Wuthering Heights in one video, but yeah, Heathcliff's character has been whitewashed many times. And I've seen plenty of discussions online how in The Hunger Games, Katniss should be a person of color, maybe indigenous, based on the descriptions from the book. Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence is not. And the same goes with Haymitch. He would have originally been also possibly a person of color based on what is described in the book, but they cast Woody Harrelson, and then now the new adaptation follows the original casting rather than the book. Both Katniss and Haymitch are described to have dark hair and olive-toned skin, and it also ignores a lot of the racial tones of The Hunger Games and the world of Panem. But again, Hollywood casting has impacted this part of the adaptations. And while I absolutely do love the movies and the movie Katniss, I think Jennifer Lawrence played Katniss really well, but they missed the mark when they ignored those features of Katniss and Haymitch and kind of the racial hierarchy that is present in Panem. Sometimes movie adaptations completely change very crucial parts of the original story. This is not really a con, but sometimes when there's a standalone movie that is based on a book, for example, The Devil Wears Prada or The Princess Diaries, the first movie kind of follows the book, but usually the sequels are completely different from the consecutive books. For example, Devil Wears Prada 2 movie is coming, but it's not at all similar to the sequel to the first Devil Wears Prada book. I don't think it's necessarily a con, but it is interesting that even though books and sequels of those books exist, they aren't taken into account. I read all of the Princess Diaries when I was young, and the books are quite different from the movies, and the second movie is completely like its own story. And if I remember correctly, they even referenced a movie adaptation of the Princess Diaries in the Princess Diaries book, but it's been so long that I've read it. But in my vague memory, I think they were like, oh, the movie adaptation got so many things wrong. I should reread the Princess Diaries. So I don't think it's necessarily a con when sequel to a book adaptation is completely different than what actually exists, but it's something to note. And additionally, movie tie-in covers of books are absolutely horrendous. I know it's a way to market those movies and to get people to read those books, but I hate them. I hate them. I also think that some books have been adapted way too many times and we need to let it go. Yes, I understand wanting to bring a classic book to a modern audience, but I feel like we've done it too many times. For example, there's a new Pride and Prejudice Netflix series coming, and I just don't think it's necessary. I love the BBC 1995 adaptation miniseries of Pride and Prejudice, and some people really love the 2005 movie adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And both of them are very iconic and have like a place in culture. So I don't see why we would need yet another modern Western Pride and Prejudice adaptation. I do know that there are some Pride and Prejudice adaptations that are like based on different cultures, and I think that's really interesting. But I think that sometimes Hollywood and movie executives just redo classics because they know it works, they know that they will make great money off of it, rather than that they would want to like bring new life to the story. I hope that makes sense. I say all of this, but you know, I will most likely watch the Yesteryear adaptation. I will go see Sunrise on the Reaping when it comes out. There's a part of me that's really tired of adaptations, but also interested in how these books will come to life on screen and how they will, if they will work as expansions of the original story in the book. I just hope that people would rather go read the book first that there is going to be an adaptation for before they decide that they're just going to watch the film instead. Essentially, all of my videos can be summarized with read the damn book. Well, what do you think? Are you tired of movie adaptations? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye!